session. For those of you who don't know Alastair, he's an English teacher, teacher trainer, and ELT materials writer. He is also the academic director at Colegio Nuevo Las Lomas and the teacher trainer for International House Montevideo, where he runs the Cambridge Delta One teacher training course, and also at the UTN in Buenos Aires, where he has currently lectured in discourse analysis and methodology. And today's session, and I love the title, Testing Times for Teens, Sustainable Assessment and Evaluation Without the Tears. This is great. And this session builds off Andy Baxter's statement, teaching and testing go hand in hand. We will explore ways of designing simple yet effective tests that are reliable representations of students' progress in skills and systems, tests that are practical to create and mark. This is a comprehensive guide to the end-to-end process of adolescent assessment, from deciding what to test all the way through to objective grading. Yes, so it's a tough one, this topic. It's a tough one. Teenagers and testing, it's tough. All right. Okay, I hope you all enjoy the session, and over to you, Alastair. Good luck.
Great, thank you, Mariela. Well, I hope that hasn't emptied the room, you being told that it's a tough one. Okay, so I thought, given today is Teachers' Day in Argentina, I would dress like my old English teacher dressed. So I hope you appreciate the suit. Oh, there's someone from Albania. Okay, well, it's Teachers' Day here in Argentina. So yeah, hence the celebratory outfit. Those of you who know me from conferences know I normally dress like this anyway. All right, so to begin, I hope Mariela's going to tell me if I am doing the right thing with the presentation and stuff like that. But I'm sure if I'm not, then she'll tell me. Okay. So, oh, whoops! What have I done? I pressed the wrong button. That's a good start. No, Mariela, what have I done? I've lost the presentation. Hang on. Oh, there it is. Thank you, Mariela. Sorry about that. I'll try not to press that button again. I won't do that again. No, I was kidding. I was kidding. I was just joking. Thank you for saving me with the presentation, by the way. Good. Okay. So, but what Mariela said is she's absolutely right. She's absolutely right, because you might think, given it's a Friday afternoon and it's Teachers' Day, that you're not going to have to do anything. And unfortunately for you, you're wrong. You are. We thought it would be really fun, as this session is about testing and assessment. We thought it'd be really fun, at least for me, if we started this with a test. Now, this should be easy for you guys, because you're all English teachers, see, from various parts of Argentina, Uruguay, and Albania, as somebody said earlier on. So here we go. I'm going to give you a test of your English now, okay? Now, please feel free to write the answers in the chat box, as people are writing anyway. That is fantastic. A lot is riding on this. Don't feel too much pressure. Yes, Pia, here it comes. Ready? So only 3 questions, nice and easy. Here we go. Right, there you are. I'm not going to say anything. If you fail, Cecilia, I'm going to think of a suitable punishment. Loved. Oh, look. Hey, this is interesting. Right. So wait a minute. We've got like completely different answers for our number 1, and very different answers. We've got is, going, and goes, went. So we got went to. All right. What about number 3? We've got B. Somebody put D, A. Okay. So I think we have a problem here, right? You guys tell me, are there any right answers to this test? Because you're all putting answers down, but you're all putting different answers. There, exactly. No, nope. Absolutely. This is a problem, and we're going to have a look at that during this session. What is going on with this test? It seems so easy. Exactly, Sophia Luz. English is complex. It's not. I know it was very unfair, Cecilia. I would apologise, but that's the point. It's not actually the problem with English. It's the problem with the way I've written the test, and that's what we're going to have a look at. Alejandro, no clear instructions. That is a big issue, right? So here we go. On the back of what Alejandro has said, let's move on. So look, question for you. Next question for you. If, like I say, if you guys thought you were going to relax for the next hour, you're so wrong. You've got a lot of work to do. So which picture to you best represents testing from the ones I'm going to show you? Okay, so we've got picture A here, picture B. If you have to choose one or the other, or both of them is all right, go ahead. Okay, some go for B, some go for A. Any of you choose? Have we got only A and B? Nobody wants to choose both, right? Unfortunately, A, right? Marija said both. Anna said both. Hello, Analia, my student from Udene. Right, lots of boths, boths. Right. Okay, now it's totally up to you, obviously, what it represents. Yeah, A for pedant subjects. I like that. I like that. The thing is, Andy Baxter, Mariella mentioned Andy Baxter before, and that is the theory upon which this workshop that we're doing today is based. Andy Baxter says that testing can be absolutely anything from a formal test like an A to a chatting with the students at the beginning of class about their weekend, or, well, these days, what they watched on Netflix, etc. in B. There's formal testing and there's informal testing. There's different ways of doing it, and we are testing all the time. In fact, what Andy Baxter says is teaching and testings go hand in hand. They are one and the same thing. And that is quite a freeing thing to think, actually. We need to think of them as part of the same, all part of the same pedagogical entity. So why do we test? Why do we do this to our students? In a second, I'm gonna show you. I know it's a great drawing. The cartoon is very, very funny. In a second, I'm going to show you some of Andy Baxter's reasons why he says we test. But what I want you guys to do before I show you those four main reasons, write down in the chat box now, just like 10 seconds. What are your reasons for why do we test our students? What's the point? What do we do it for? Right, see, we're on the right course. I like that. That's interesting, Maria Teresa. See if we're on the right course. School asked for that, Patricia. Internet, we need marks. But why? Monitor their progress to see if our teaching is successful. To torture them. There's really no way to escape. Okay, good. We need to know their knowledge, to monitor processes, to have a diagnosis. Okay. Actually, to be completely honest, I think you've already come up with at least the 4 reasons why Andy Baxter says we test our students. Have a look at these and see if any of them connect with what you've said, okay? So he says to compare students with each other, to see if the students meet a particular standard. Somebody mentioned international exams earlier on. To help the learning process of the students, somebody mentioned that too. And I think one of the first people to write in the chat box mentioned to see whether the teaching program is doing its job. That's like super important to know that. So these are Andy Baxter's 4 reasons for why it is we test our students. So given that the first thing he says is to compare students with each other, I want you to imagine all of you guys out there right now, there's 419 people in the room right now, 419. All of you are my students for the next 50 minutes or so, okay? So just to make you suffer just a little bit more, okay, I want you to think of it like this. If your name, because there's quite a lot of people now, if your name starts with the letter or a letter A to M, you are in team 1. If your name starts with the letter N through Z, you're in team 2, all right? So team 1, A to M, team 2, N to Z. I'm just writing that down myself. Okay, so just to check this, all right, please put down if you're in team 1 or team 2. Go for it. Right, Jasmine's in team 1, that makes sense. Anna, yes, in team 1. Veronica, team 2. Who's in team 2? Is anyone in team 2? Did we only have people whose names start with letters A through M here, or what? Oh, Romina, you're in team 2. Good. For some strange reason, teachers' names generally begin with the letters A to M. That is an interesting statistic for Macmillan Education today. You can write that one down, Mariella. That's interesting to know. Right. Okay, that's the idea. So if you're in team 1 or team 2, let's see. Let's go for it. Here we go. Now, I'm going to ask you, what do we test when we test? Now, don't write anything in the chat box yet, because I'm actually going to give you a gap fill to do, just like we English language teachers love doing, no? All right, here we go. So, wait a minute, Monica, hold on. The first one, Maria Gabriela, wait, I'm going to give you a gap fill. The first one to write the correct answer, because I've got the list of the letters A to M and N to Z here, I will give points to the team. Okay, here we go, go. Can the students use the of language, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation? Not contents, good thinking. Components, Claudia, Elizabeth, you're the first one. That is 1 point for team 1. It is components, very good. Okay, next one. B, can the students use the language This is not easy. In reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Not informal, good thinking, it's not that one. Itself, very good, Daniela. That is another point for team 1. Okay, come on, team 2. Team 2, wake up, wake up. All right, next one. C, this is the last one, okay. How does the student learn most and can that become part of testing? Patricia, hello, Patricia, how are you? You were first out of the gate with that one. That is 1 point for team 2. The score is 2 points to team 1, 1 point to team 2 so far. The word is effectively, absolutely right. Okay, so we had components, itself, and effectively. We're just going to carry on with the scoring throughout this session, okay? So here we go. All right, so we're going to look at this first of all. Can the students use the components of language, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation? Some ways of testing that. Well, look. We saw already that this was not an acceptable test. Why? What was going on with this? What Andy Baxter would say is the following. He would say that good tests have to be both valid, reliable, and practical. Not both, all three. Valid, reliable, and practical. What do those things mean? Let's have a look now. So I want you to imagine a situation, guys, okay? You are testing your students now on the present simple. Is the test I'm about to show you okay? I just need a yes or a no. I'm not going to give you points for this, but just a yes or a no. What do you think? Have a look. Is this okay? Is it good enough, let's say, is the test of present simple? All right, got a couple of yeses. Most people say no, however. Somebody just wrote olive. Olive is definitely not the right answer. It's just a yes or a no. Binary, no olives, no other kind of tree fruit. There is no context. Okay, so we've got some ideas as to why not here. Well, what Andy Baxter would say, all the no people, Andy Baxter would agree with you. I'll explain why. He would say there's a problem with this is there's no what he calls content validity. Okay, I'm going to get a little pointer so that you can all see as well. Good. So he says that there's no content validity here. What does that mean? That just means that it's not clear to the students right now if we're testing grammar or vocabulary. Some of you might write as an answer, for example, understandably, drives. Some people might write buy. So exactly, drive is missing, but they could write but drive owns, exactly, Emilia Elena. That's better than what I said, buy. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So are we testing grammar or vocabulary? It's not clear that we're even testing grammar at the moment. Once, Tamila, absolutely perfect. Absolutely right. Yeah. Bought, has, you got it. So we got no content validity here. All right, fine. Here's another one. Again, it's the same every time. You need to test your students on the present simple. Is the following test okay? Here we go. I'm going to read it to you. Right, it looks the same. It looks the same. But this time, we've got drive in brackets at the end. Right, I saw someone, hold on, yes, people. Someone just wrote tense, question mark. 2 people have written tense, question mark. Right, okay, Natalie, okay, right. So what's that about? Exactly, Daphne says it could be the past as well. Now, again, Andy Baxter would say, no, this is not good enough yet, this test. We're getting better, but it's not good enough yet. He says it's got content validity because now we know that we are testing grammar because it's got a verb that we have to transform, okay? But we're not sure what tense this. If I'm a student, I'm not sure what tense I'm supposed to write. Somebody said it could be in the past. It could be in the past. It could be in the future. I could say, normally Florencia drove a red Ferrari, will be driving a red Ferrari. Context is needed, that Fiorella has said. All right, well, let's see. Let's see if we can improve this test. Used to drive, I like it, Maria, absolutely right. Okay, sorry, Maria Cristina. Okay, here we go again. We're going to improve the test a little bit. What do you think now? Complete the verb in the correct form of the present simple. We have a name of a tense. The rest of it's the same. Better. Anna, I agree with you. It's better. It's better. But perfect, it's not. Perfect, it's not. And we'll see why. We will see why. Let's have a look. Not enough. I agree, Sophia. Not enough. All right. What's going on here then? So we've got content validity. All right. But we've still got no construct validity, he would say, because construct validity is, are we testing what we are supposed to test and nothing else? That's what construct validity is. And he says, are we testing them on grammar or their knowledge of meta-language? What does that mean, meta-language? Well, put it like this. Maybe the students can use present simple, but they don't know what the term present simple means. Let me explain. I'm sure you understand what I mean anyway, but just to clarify for 1 second. I have CAE students. I teach at a school in La Roqueta in the north of Buenos Aires. And if I say to my 3 CAE students, it's a small group this year, if I say to Lucas, Milagros, and Pilar, okay, guys, can you write a sentence in the third conditional? They will look at each other and go, okay, third conditional, probably. Now, they use third conditionals all the time. But the problem was, I use the expression third conditional. They're now doing CAE. You know what I mean? This meta language, some of them, they don't remember it, but it doesn't mean they can't produce it. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what Andy Baxter's saying? It doesn't mean they can't do it because they don't know the meta language. All right, so here we go again. Let's try and improve this test a bit more. Don't worry, there's not too many more of these, I promise. All right, so look, what about this? This time we've got present simple. We've got a verb in brackets. We've got an example first, Maria Jose, exactly. Look, we've got an example first here. Now, is it better or is it perfect? You're all too shy to write in the chat box now, aren't you? You think this is a trick question. Ooh. Somebody said I would rather have a paragraph. We're going to come to that in a minute. Ooh. Somebody's 1 step ahead of me. You are one. I can't see who wrote that. I see that Natalie's just written it again. You're 1 step ahead of me and Andy Baxter here. Yeah, you assume it's okay, but not perfect, Valeria. You're right. He would say no. He would say, okay, we have content validity. It's definitely only testing the present simple and nothing else, but it's an unreliable test of the present simple. A few people have written, at the moment, they're all affirmative sentences. We have no negative, and we have no question forms. This is the problem. This is not, therefore, a reliable test of the present simple. We still don't know. If I'm your teacher, I still don't know if you can use the negative and the question form of the present simple. I have no idea. All right. So that is what we would need to do. One more for you. By the way, this isn't an adjustment on this one. Yeah, it's less than reliable. What about this? Somebody said they wanted to get their students to write a paragraph. Okay, I'm going to go with you. A bit longer, actually. Write a composition called My Daily Routine, using positive, negative, and question forms of the present simple. The first sentence starts, every day I wake up at. My students have to write 250 words. By the way, in my class, I have 42 students, just so you know. How's that? Not my routine again. Yeah, it is. Oh, Alejandro, you got it. Alejandro Sosa and Celeste as well. Right. The issue with this, yet again, Andy Baxter would not be happy with this either. I got a class of 43 students. I said 42. 43 students, and this is not practical. Exactly, Pia. You would need a lot of time to correct. You would need and that's a fair point. It could also say it's only in first person, but maybe my students would be using some amazing present simple, positive, negative question forms, blah, 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 blah. But if I've got 43 students and 250 words to mark, forget it. As we would say in Argentina, olvídate. That's going to be, yeah, very difficult. Exactly. Exactly. It'll be too much for me as a teacher. We got enough work to do, guys, right? Bonelli, we got enough work to do. We don't have to worry about that as well as everything else. So we have to be practical. So this one, sorry, the previous one is, where's it gone? Is more practical, but it would have to include, you know, positive, negative question forms. Right. Okay. So here we go. Let's have a look at some other aspects of testing. So we were saying, or Andy Baxter was telling us, they have to be valid, reliable, and practical. Good tests. All right. So we are looking at the moment at, can the students use the components of language, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation? What I'm going to try and do, see if I can get this right. Yes, I can. I got the drawing tool. How exciting. I was practicing this for ages with Mariella and Juliana the other day. A bit embarrassing. All right, so here we go. We were saying which picture best represents tests to you, remember? And we've also been talking about, you know, what's kind of important in making a good test. We were saying that tests don't necessarily have to be like super formal, okay? Even when we're chatting to students, we're still testing them in a way. It's also possible to do exactly the same thing when you are just like flicking through your coursebook, for example. This is a lot of fun to do right now. I mean, I know there's people from all over the world, but here in Argentina, we've been in quarantine since I think it's the 20th of March, even before someone can correct me. We're still in quarantine right now, right? So this is a really enjoyable one to do using Zoom. I know, Shamila, seriously, it's been that long and we're still in quarantine. All right, here's what I'm talking about. Imagine, actually, no, you can tell me, what is the thing you can see on the right of the screen? What is that thing? The little table. Yeah, right. The themes, it's a table of contents, right, exactly. Okay, so here's how this works. Coursebook Pictionary. This is testing. This is a form of testing, and all your students can do this, all right? Look, you've got on the right all these different categories of vocabulary, free time. You could do this with any coursebook. I've chosen to use On the Pulse 3. I write for this book as well, by the way. You can use any of these categories. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw something for you, okay? And the first person to get what it is that I'm drawing, and you've got the table of contents there, so you already know some of the lexical sets that I will be using. The first person to get it right gets 1 point for their team, okay? Here we go. And good luck. I might give you 2 points for your team because my drawing is terrible. Right, which one am I going to pick? I'm going to pick... Right. Good luck, all of you. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. See, my drawing's not very good at the best of time, right? But when I'm using a pen on a screen, yeah, but you got to say what it is. What's the? Oh. Somebody said it. I'm going to zoom back. I'm going to zoom back and see who said it first. Bindu Grover. I think you were the one to say it first. This was the weather. Very good. Very, very good. Okay. I tell you what. I'm going to do one more for you. Okay. So that's 1 point for. Okay. Let's cross this one out. I'm going to do another one. Different one. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Here we are. So. Okay. Really, good thinking, good thinking, good thinking. Oh, you're so close. Natural disasters, very good. Who said that? It was Natalie. You said natural disasters. You are team 2. Yeah, that was my tsunami. That was monster. Looks like it. That was supposed to. I'm not. I just can't draw, Maria. Thank you, but I just can't draw. Okay. So look, the score at the moment. The score at the moment is 3-2. So team 1, you're still in the lead. Okay. Great. Now, can I get rid of all of this? Clear all. Are you sure you want to clear the image? I'm definitely sure I want to clear the image. Yes, please. Okay, good. Bueno, you understand. I am doing my best. This is as good as it gets, Maria Inez. I promise you, I'm no better with a pen in my hand. It did look like a claw. That's very true, Maria Victoria. Okay, so we can test our students with zero preparation all the time, okay? For example, I want you to imagine this is a book that you're using with your students. It's called The Wish Fish, this book. You've probably heard a similar version of this story when you were kids. I'm going to introduce you to Bob and Bet. What can you tell me about Bob and Bet? Tell me about Bob and Bet. What can you see in the picture? Ooh. Yeah, having lunch. They like fish. They really do like fish. They are poor and they like fish. Very, very true. Very, very true. In fact, they're actually supposed to be husband and wife, at least in the story. In fact, they absolutely adore fish. And what I want you to do is the following. They could be siblings. They could be siblings. Right. Fish begins with which sound? Fish begins with exactly, it does. In fact, you will notice, Sophia, I'm impressed with your little phonemics thing there. In fact, what I want you to do is write down, and I have a list here, okay? All the way, in a second, just wait, okay, before you go crazy in the chat box. All the words that you can see, wait until I tell you when, that begin with the f sound. But wait, okay, wait, Valeria, wait, stop. 443 people, stop, okay. I've got a list of all the things I could find beginning with F, okay? And I'm going to be looking at which team I'm going to be ticking them off is getting the most, all right? 3, 2, 1, go. Dum 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 dum. Fishing rod, fire, foul, fur. Ooh, fur, good one. Actually, I'm going to give you points for the ones I haven't got. I think that's going to make it easier for me. All right, so that's 1 for team. Fireplace, I got fireplace, food, feeling. Is there a feeling in there? It does begin with F, but fabulous. Hang on. You're just thinking of words with F now. Fear, are they scared? Now, come on, in the picture, things in the picture. Frayed tablecloth, that is totally a point for, actually, I can't see who, tell me who said frayed tablecloth, say me or something, so I can give you the point. Yeah, you, that's what I thought. Okay, right, okay. Fire, family, they could be a family. Fork, feather, where's there a feather? Is there a feather? Well, maybe there's a feather on the goose out the window or something. I'm going to give you one for that. All right. Okay, stop. Everybody stop. Right. Fish tins. I like that. Faces. God, you're thinking of loads of stuff I haven't thought of. 1 and 1. All right. I'm going to tell you what the score is right now, by the way. The score is 5 points to both teams for the words that I hadn't got. That's what I decided to do, the words that I hadn't got. So team 1, you've got 5 points, and team 2, you've also got 5 points. Well, it's not fair, Carla. It's perfectly fair. It's perfectly fair. Being politically correct. Me, no. Never. Alastair, politically correct. Those of you who know me will know that I'm not particularly politically correct. Sorry, Macmillan. All right, so fair is another word, yeah. I am not making decisions on the way, Cecilia. I swear. Come on. Look, a ver, it's difficult right now in Argentina with assessment. Okay, listen, right now we're halfway through. You are 5 and 5. Nobody complain. There's no need to complain, okay? All right, let's move on. Now, listen, speaking of being halfway through, it being half time, because right now in our session, it is half time, okay? And half time comes in many different sports, and one particular one, I know I apologize to various sets of people in the room for the picture that I'm about to show. I'm going to apologize firstly to everyone who is from Argentina because this was a painful memory. I'm going to show, well, it was also a painful memory for England as well. I'm also going to apologize to everyone who's not from Argentina because this is specifically to do with something that relates to football in Argentina. And incredibly, it's not about Maradona. Okay, this is to do, by the way, with can students use the language itself, reading, writing, listening, and speaking, okay? So let's have a look at this is about reading, okay? Does anyone remember Russia 2018? Yes, of course you do. Of course you do. You were there, Maria de los Angeles. You were actually there. Wow, that must have been amazing. So now if you don't remember it, but yeah, exactly, Claudia. It was the Football World Cup in I think it was June 2018. Unfortunately, yeah, absolutely. I'm English. I feel the same way. We got knocked out in the semi-finals. Okay, so look, no, don't cry, Natalie. Don't cry. Now there was at the beginning of the tournament. I'm sure you'll remember, wherever you're from in the world, actually, a game between Argentina and, do you recognize the team that Iceland? How strange that you all remember, all the women out there, and probably some of the men remember Iceland. They were really cute. Oh, you even know his name. What a coincidence. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Right. Now, again, if you're from Argentina, I'm going to explain this I'm going to explain the Spanish I'm about to speak, all right now. But there was a little meme that went around at the time, which was, in Spanish, it was, Tráeme la Copa, Messi, which was, bring me the World Cup, Messi. So it was, bring me the World Cup, Messi. And I'm going to say it in Spanish, Tráeme la Copa, Messi. Y si no puedes llevarme la copa, llévame el 19 de Islandia. Now, that means if you can't bring me the World Cup, just bring me the number 19 from Iceland. It's funny, people just don't mind. I remember watching this match with Florencia, my partner, and it was very interesting, like, because we were in a hotel in Rosario with all these other men and women watching it. And at the beginning, everyone was cheering Argentina on, and then a lot of the women fell quiet, was they started paying attention to something else during the football match. Why am I showing this to you? Why am I showing this to you? I'll explain why I'm showing it to you right now. So I'm going to give you a reading comprehension to do, okay? But I'm going to give you a reading comprehension to do in Icelandic. Does anyone here speak Icelandic? No. Okay, good. I was kind of counting on that. To be honest, I was kind of counting on that. But nonetheless, you guys are going to get an A for this reading comprehension in Icelandic, okay? Why? Here we go. I will show you. So, read the text and answer the following questions. And here is your text, all right? And here are the questions. So I'm going to be keeping a score for this. Number one, very good. Number one is Paolo Londra. Very good. Claudio Elizabeth. Good. So that is 1 point for team one. Excellent. Well done. Number two. No one's got number two yet, but Claudia Elizabeth, you're right. That is the answer to number four. Very good. So that is another one for team one. Very good, Maria. That is a point for team two. You got the answer to number two. Who's got that one? Very good. 1998. Great. And number five, Antonella Rocio Moreno. Well done, guys. So number one, the answer was Paulo Londra. Number two, the answer was Paulo Ezequiel Londra Faria. By the way, he is a rapper in Argentina. Number three was 1998. Number four was Cordoba. Number five was Rocio Moreno. You all told me that you don't speak a word of Icelandic. How on earth do you get an A in a reading comprehension in Icelandic? Explain. How'd you do it? Right, Natalie has said you got the words that are in order, exactly. You've got the syntax, we're just smart. Because of the order of the words, exactly, you're looking at the syntax, the order of the words in the sentence, and which connect with which. You've got exactly repeated words from the text, that's right. So, by the way, right now, the score is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 8 right now to team one. So, therefore, given what I've just shown you, which is the more reliable test of reading comprehension that I'm about to show you now? Is it this one? Or is it A or is it B? Which would you say is the more reliable test of reading comprehension, given what we've just been talking about, okay? Right, B, 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 B. Lots of people saying B, 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 B. Okay, right. Why B? Tell me why B. Lots of sorry, and I'm not assuming that you're right by saying B, by the way. Why would you say B? Okay, so we've got you're not reproducing. Okay, right. Think, connect, and comprehend. Right. Requires more analysis. Okay. Brings about discussion. Yeah, that is true. But what's okay? But what's wrong with A in that case? What's your issue with A? All right, someone has said A because the students must understand the reading, but maybe that's the same with B as well. It's what we did with your example. Yeah, it's like the Icelandic. Yeah, you're right. It's like the Icelandic. That's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. It is like the Icelandic. Okay, and it's like the Icelandic. Why is it like the Icelandic? They can infer the answers even if they don't understand. Right. Yeah, you don't. It's a good question, Daphne. You don't actually have the text for what am I trying to say? Reading comprehension B, but there is a text that goes with it. So what you're doing is with B, you've got true, false, or not given. With A as well, you could do what you did in the Icelandic example. There's also the possibility, by the way, that with A, that it's a subjective test of reading versus an objective test of reading. So again, this is all Baxter's terminology. It's a good question, Patricia. We'll answer that in a minute, actually. What would Baxter be meaning by the word subjective? Why subjective in terms of marking? In terms of the marking of it? What am I talking about? Let's imagine, right? Let's imagine, for example, that I'm answering A. I'm your student, I'm answering A. And it says, where are Miguel and Glenna? Oh, Daphne said there could be scorer differences, right? So she's like preempting me. She's very good. Where are Miguel and Glenna? And I say, okay, I look at the text and I've got, right, Miguel and Glenna is in New York. Now, Analia has just said, what are you testing? Grammar comprehension? Oops. But be like completely honest with me, right? And don't hold back. I want you to be critical of what I'm saying as well. Miguel and Glenna is in New York. Because it says that. And have I got the answer right or wrong? Comprehension is okay if the grammar is not. Okay, all right. So, okay, so you give it for correct. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So let's say you've got, again, I'm one of your students, all right, in your, I don't know, your A1 level class. Perhaps it looks like it could be an elementary level class, no? All right, so you're talking about half and halves, comprehension, okay, partially correct, half a point. You see what I mean? Again, let me give you another question, okay? I'm your student in your elementary level class, Alastair, and you've got another student called Alexander who looks spookily like me. And Alexander has written, Miguel and Glenna are in New York. Do we get the same marks or different marks? Just be honest. What would you do as a teacher? Don't say, you know, what you would expect Baxter to want you to hear you say. Same or different? So a few of you put the same. Good, Daphne. Depends on what you're testing, maybe. Short answers accepted. Different. So this is the thing. Here's my problem, right? Or this is not my problem, it's Andy Baxter's. A lot of you, for understandable reasons, have put different. Like you'd give different marks because, you know, someone's got the grammar right and someone's got the grammar wrong. And then other people are writing in the chat box, but wait a minute, we're talking about reading comprehension. We're not talking about how good the grammar is or spelling is or whatever. So, you know, why are we testing their grammar? But this is the thing, guys. This is the issue. If we've got two different teachers who, imagine you're working at a massive school with 1,500 students and you've got a massive English department and the teachers don't get to meet up and speak to each other that much, but you're using the same test. You see where I'm going with this? No, you're using the same test. For example, Pia is using the same test as Bettina, but they never see each other. There are like 35 English teachers in this huge school, but Pia is giving the student 1 mark for that one, whereas Bettina is giving half a mark because they got the reading comprehension right, but they got the grammar wrong. I agree, Valeria, probably you should agree on the marking, but again, this is the thing. Somebody earlier on, I think it might have been Daphne, wrote it was to do with score reliability. That's one of the issues. Okay, and if we can't agree to how to mark, somebody earlier on wrote about getting the rubric sorted out. So this is it. This is the situation. Yeah, we can explain the criteria before, but if therefore, imagine the hypothetical school situation I'm giving you, okay? Imagine the hypothetical school situation I'm giving you. Huge school, loads of students, the English teachers never really see each other. Would you give your students reading comprehension A or reading comprehension B, just to know their reading comprehension? You'd give B, wouldn't you? And that's why. So this is the thing. What would be great actually is if in the chat box, if you tell me, I want you to think of your biggest class, like the biggest class you've ever had, right? I would like you to write the country that you teach in and the most amount of students you've ever had in your class. For example, Marcella, I don't know, 30. Sorry, Marcelo probably from Argentina. So Argentina 30, there you go. Argentina 40, Argentina 45, Iran 34, 16 Macedonia, 55. Where are you from? Number 55. So again, 100 at university. Yeah, universities. Argentina 36. But your class, specifically your class, Daniela, yeah? Algeria 45. Wow, look at this. Argentina 38, 44. So, you know, you've had some big classes. I think the highest number I saw, like for a language class that I saw, you just got you were just writing now 55, 52. Imagine you got 52 students, and you've got to do this. Is a okay. So this would be an issue with what does Baxter call it? 52 students. What's the magic word? It's an issue with what? You've got 3 choices: validity, reliability, or practicality. Which one is it? Right, someone said it's due time. Right, practicality, Carolina. Really? Yeah, you've got to sort that out. Even test A, which is an elementary level test, would be an awful lot. It'd be a hell of a lot, pardon my language. It would be an awful lot, wouldn't it? For students in a 52-person class. Forget it. All right, so look, this is another thing I want you to say. I noticed there's a couple of people from my Cambridge Delta course in the room here today. Something I want to say is that there is no such thing as a perfect test. Somebody said earlier on that they wouldn't like to test by giving them a paragraph to write or by giving them like individual items to answer. I see what you mean. And I agree with you. And more importantly than me agreeing with you, Baxter would agree with you. There's no such thing as a perfect test. We have to we have to balance validity, reliability, and practicality. That's what it's all about. Okay, and this is what international exams try and do all the time. All right, now how do I clear the page? That's how I do it. Yes, I do. Okay. And I agree, it depends what you're looking for. Absolutely, 100% right. It depends why you're testing. Macmillan, we need to have another session on testing at some point because Maria Alejandra's right. Depends on what you're testing to. Is it a level test? Is it a placement test? It is a formative evaluation, summative evaluation. Is it a progress test? Is it an achievement test? Is it a proficiency test? Etc. You get the point, right? All right. Okay. So let's see. Let's move on. So we were just looking. We've had a look so far already at can the students use the components of the language, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. We had a little look at that. We've had a little look at can student use the language itself, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. We've talked a little bit about objective marking and subjective marking. How does the student learn most? What was this missing word here? Do you remember? And can that become part of testing? What was that? Effectively, Natalie. Absolutely right. Effectively. Good. Okay. So let's have a quick look at this. Illumination. Now, Andy Baxter's got this beautiful term that he uses, illumination, and I'm going to show you what that is about in a second. This is to really show, actually in Rebecca Oxford's terminology, it's about metacognitive processes. It's a learning strategy by which we work out how our students learn most effectively. And one of the things Andy Baxter suggests is illumination. What is illumination? Well, let's have a look. Do any of you recognize the lady in the picture? Rosa Parks, very good. It is Rosa Parks, or was Rosa Parks. Now, those of you who are saying no, and there's plenty of you saying no, which is perfectly fair, maybe you don't recognize her, but maybe you recognize the gentleman over her right shoulder. Do you recognize him? If you don't, Martin Luther King. And if you're not sure who Martin Luther King is, then you're about to find out. So, Rosa Parks, somebody said Rosa Parks. Tell me about Rosa Parks. What do you know about Rosa Parks? It was, well, sorry, plenty of you put it down. The bus boycott, right. There was a bus boycott in the United States in the 50s, I believe it was the early 50s. We're going to find out. It may have even been before. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. So look, she refused to give up her seat to a white man on the bus. Exactly what happened. Right. So let's have a look. This is all about illumination. I want you to imagine this is reading comprehension for your students, and this is the text that you're giving them, okay? Now, my suggestion is the following. Imagine it's a true or false exercise. You give them the answers, because how many times have you had the situation where you say to your students, okay, this one's true or false, or is this one A, B, or C? And they say A, and you say why? And they say, because it is, because yes, or it's true because it is. We've had that before, and they can get, this is the other thing, guys. They may have the right answer. They may also not actually have the language to express the concept of why the answer is the answer, okay? Bindu, I agree with you. And that is what we're coming to, okay? That is what we're coming to, Bindu. Have a look at this, okay? Now, my suggestion is, just as some training, give them the answers, okay? Now, what do I mean by that? I'm going to show you right now. Where's my pointer? There it is. Okay, so look. You've got 4 questions to the text, and they're questions, they're true or false sentences, but I've already said whether they're true or false, okay? So have a look at this. Rosa was going to work when the incident happened, and the answer, I've already given you the answer, it's false. Rosa was told to move is true. When people boycott something, they publicly ignore it, true. Rosa's actions had no effect, false. What you're going to do is, my students, you're going to tell me which part of the text give you the answer, okay? Exactly, Natalie, you're going to underline the evidence. So we're going to do the first one together, all right? Rosa was going to work when the incident happened. I'm just going to show you how this works to begin with, okay? All right, now, Viviana, I think, has already got the right answer. Let's have a look. Traveling home from work, you got it. You got it. All right. You've got to do the same thing for number 2 now. Rosa was told to move. Why is it true? Why is it true? Just write down the first couple of words of the phrase that tells you why. You have to stand up. Very good. Very good. Right, that was Michaela. That is, I'm going to give you points, I've decided. That is a point for team 2. You're both on 9 right now. Right, number 3. When people boycott something, they publicly ignore it. It's true. Why? What does it say in the text? Black people stopped using buses. Right, I'm going to go with that. As Daphne Green said, Daphne, that's a point for team A. So yeah, black people stopped using buses. Okay, very good. Last but not least, Rosa's actions had no effect, false. Why? This event, wow, who was that? That was quick. That was worryingly quick, that one. Who wrote that? Analia, right. This event stopped segregation in public transport. Right, so far, by the way, the scores are 11-9 to team 1. Let's move on. So you understand how this works. This is Baxter's idea. Well, his idea is illumination. My spin on this is doing what we're talking about here. Giving them the evidence and giving them the answers and getting them to underline the evidence. Okay, Gamification. How is it that we can get a course book, any course book, and turn it into a game? Why can this be a good idea? One of the reasons why gamification can be very useful for students is because, as Sombrio says, it lessens the cost of making an error in the learner's eyes. It lessens the cost of making an error in the learner's eyes. They don't mind so much about making errors, okay? Also, I'm going to read this full quote to you here. Emphasizing the concept of freedom to fail and encouraging learners to feel comfortable to take risks allows learners to shift from being mostly outcome oriented to being able to focus on the learning, right? So not only are the students not worried so much about, you know, getting a good grade or whatever, they are so into what they're doing. They are focused on the learning itself. They're focused on what they're doing, not necessarily the outcome, okay? So how can we do this? I want you to have a look at this text that I have stolen from On the Pulse 3. And what I've done, as you will see, is I've hidden some sentences. Now, they are clues to, it is challenging for them. You wait to see what we've got next, Maria Inez, you wait. It clues to different people who've been involved or organizations that have been involved in human rights. This is how it works. I'm going to give you points for this. All right, guys. So look, here's how it works. We're just going to do the first one as an example. You could literally gamify any text. You really can. And this is an example of how. Right. Here we are. I'm going to reveal number one, and you have to tell me, just as an example, which of these human rights activists or organizations we are describing here. So here we are. It says, he was the leader of the American Civil Rights Movement. Who was that? B. Very good. Yeah, you can put letters. It's okay. You can put the letters. It's all right. Martin Luther King. Good. That was just an example. Now we start the competition, guys, okay? Now we start the competition. The score is 11-9 to Team 1, okay? Here we go. Second sentence. She was an Indian pacifist. She worked with the poor and the sick. Michaela was first with Mother Teresa. So that is a point for Team 2. Very good. Mother Teresa. All right. Okay. The score, you're getting closer, Team 2. You're getting closer. All right. Michael is in Team 1. Sorry, you're right. You're right. You're right. I can't even read the alphabet that I've got written here, and I'm an English teacher. That's very, very sad. Very, very sad. Okay. Sorry about that. I beg your pardon. All right. Okay. Next. Here we go. Number 3. It is a humanitarian organization. It works to defend human rights across the world. I'm not even going to read the rest. All right, the first one was Natalie Soledad Reynoso. Okay, so that is Amnesty International. Good. All right, so that is definitely, see, it comes after M, so it must be M. That is 1 point for Team 2. Dear me. Okay, number 4. Here we go. Ready? She's an activist. She fights for the rights of indigenous people in Guatemala. Right, that was, who put D first? That was Maria Teresa, put D. Rigoberta Menchú. Very good, that was D. So that is another one for Team 1. Okay, number 5. Here we go. He became president of South Africa in the country's first democratic general election. All right, who was first with that one? That was Natalie. You are doing well for Team 2, Natalie. It has to be said. Right. Okay. Now, obviously, by elimination, you already know what number 6 is. But I'm going to read it to you anyway, okay? Yeah, I know you all know it's C. But it says, she's a politician from Myanmar. She's working for a peaceful transition to democracy. Good. So listen, the scores at the moment, because we haven't finished yet, the scores at the moment are 13 points to Team 1 and 11 points to Team 2. Team 2, you're only 2 points behind. Now, I know what you're thinking, guys. You are thinking, hang on a minute. This was all about general knowledge, what we've just done, right? This is not really about English language teaching, yeah? So I thought it would be fair enough to have a tie break, okay, a real English language style test to finalize the competition today. Maria Inez agrees with me. I like to see that. I like to see that. We're going to play pronunciation stepping stones. Remember, one of the things that Baxter talks about with testing our students, and by the way, this really is about testing teens. However, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know about you, but if you teach adults as well and other types of younger learners, you've probably noticed that they do enjoy games and competitions too. Anyway, pronunciation stepping stones. This is how it works. There are 3 characters. Now you can choose. Your job is to choose one of these characters, okay? We've got Dora the Explorer over here on the left. All right, Luciana's chosen Snoopy, and bueno, Marija, for example, sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name too well, is choosing Tintin. All right, so you choose your character. That's great. You go ahead and choose your character. A lot of Snoopy fans here. I like that. I'm a Snoopy fan too. I have a cuddly Snoopy in the bedroom. All right, so look, you're going to choose your character. But here's the situation. Let me explain it to you. You have to get across the river to camp, but it's not that easy, okay? Here is the problem. There are some crocodiles in the river. But fortunately, there are some stepping stones to get across the river. But in order to get across the stepping stones, here's what you have to do. And it works like this. You will notice that on the first of each of these stepping stones, there is an object. Here, you've got a can of oil. You've got some oil. Here, what's this here? Right, you've got a mill here. So you've got oil, mill, and a drum. Okay, good. So oil, mill, drum. And this is going to be focusing on the vowel aspect of pronunciation. So Dora has diphthong in this case. Oi, I, a. Oil, mill, drum. Oi, I, a. All right. Yes, Alastair, but what's the point? I'll tell you what the point is. The point is this. Now, I want you to promise that you are not going to write anything in the chat box yet, okay? That's super important, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, you don't have to promise, you can promise to yourselves in your head. Okay, Bettina, thank you very much. Thank you. All right. Don't write anything in the chat box yet. I'll explain why. The character you've chosen, let's assume, for example, you have chosen Snoopy, for example, all right? You must do the following because you've got the mill. So you've got mill here, then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to camp, okay? To get back to your camp first and survive the crocodiles, you have to think, do not do it yet, please. You have to think of 5 words that contain that same vowel sound, or in this case, diphthong sound. Do not write anything yet, okay? So if you chose Dora, you have to think of 5 words that contain the diphthong oi. If you chose Snoopy, 5 words that contain the vowel sound I. You got the idea, Maria Victoria, but hold on. If you chose Tintin, you've got to think of 5 words that have the vowel sound ah, okay? All right, now wait. I love these calm moments before the storm. No stars, you don't behave, Sandra. You got it. And your break time is cancelled. Okay, here's how it goes. When I say go, which I haven't done yet, you're going to write down your 5 words in the chat box and wait. The first person I see who has all 5 correct words with those vowel sounds or diphthong sounds wins 3 points for your team. All right, now wait. All right. Actually, I agree with Magdalena. You get 5 points for your team because it should be 1 for each. I agree with Magdalena. 5 points. All right. Are you ready? I'm going to count down from 3. Wait. I said, are you ready? Hold on, wait, stop. Okay. You see where Claudia Elizabeth has written ha 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 ha? Okay, from there, nobody write anymore. All right. I'm going to count down from 3. Exactly, not yet, people. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my goodness, look at this. Right, I saw. There it is, that's the one I'm looking for. Right, I have got as first one after I said it, where I'm trying to find it now, because yeah, there it is. Bindu Grover, there you are. Foil, coil, toil, boil, spoil. Bindu Grover, you are definitely in team 1. You're definitely in team 1. So, let me go back to the bottom of the chat box. Somebody talked to you. I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. Very good. Well done, Bindu. So that means, I think you know what this means, everybody. I think you know what this means, that team 1 has 18 points and team 2 has 11 points. So congratulations to team 1. Well done, team 1. Good job, good job, good job. And just to leave you with a little quote, the same quote we had earlier on, but this is super important. Don't think of teaching and testing as different things. Even when we're chatting to students, we're still informally testing. Baxter says teaching and testing goes hand in hand, okay? We're doing it all the time with our students. Yeah, well done, team 1, as Nadia says. Here are my contact details if you would like some more information. And I would like to say thank you very, very, very much to Macmillan Education for inviting me to speak to you all today. Now, I do have a question, because I believe, am I right in thinking, Mariella, I don't know if you're there. Are you there, Mariella? Hello, hello. I'm not sure if she's there. The reason I'm asking is because I think Macmillan wanted me to ask for like questions as well. Mariella, are you there? Ah, she's coming. Here she is. Hello, Mariella. I can see the worm thing doing this, like Windows does. Yes, perfectly. I had the same problem earlier on. I had the same problem myself. Sorry, no, I was going to ask Mariella, and this is my fault. This is totally my fault. I'm sorry. That I think that you'd wanted me to do some Q&As as well, and then I noticed, and it's already 6 o'clock. So sorry.
Okay, but maybe we can have some minutes. Yes, maybe 5 minutes.
If you want.
Yes. I love your presentation. Fantastic. Well, the comments are great. Everybody participated. I participated, especially when you mentioned this Iceland-Russian World Cup. That was a good memory, and we need good memories nowadays.
Yeah. So now this is. Sorry, I've just seen Luciana has actually asked a question. I've got a question here.
Okay, sorry.
This is formative testing. How can you do summative? Yeah, how can you do summative testing online? Okay, now there's a really good question about summative testing, and in fact, I'm glad you asked that question, Luciana, because we've just been doing that with my school in Zona Norte in Buenos Aires at the moment. And what we've done it all online, and we've been possibly slightly more, given the circumstances, lenient than we would normally be on the one hand, because apart from anything else, because all the kids have got, I'm going to use a Argentine Spanish expression again, trimestrales, so they've got term tests, all of them, yeah, right now. So they don't just have that within the English department, they've got that with every other subject they have as well. But what we've done is this. We've done all of them. We've done speaking, reading, writing, listening, use of English. I teach, by the way, I teach 5th and 6th. So I'm teaching 2 different CAE classes, preparing classes for the certificate in advanced English. And With the speaking, what we're doing is this, because it's really hard because we've been using Zoom as the platform. So it's really hard to get them to sometimes speak in class as it is in general anyway. So what we've done, one of the things we've done is we've got them to prepare a part 2 of the speaking, you know, where they've got the pictures and they've got to compare and contrast, and we've got them to video themselves or record themselves doing it. Now, you may be thinking, okay, Alastair, but that's only one part of the speaking exam and they're going to do it a million times before they finally submit the one they're happy with. Maybe they will do that. But you know what? That's okay. I teach at a university here called UTN, the National Technological University, UTN, here in Argentina. And that's one of the things that me and my colleagues do quite a lot, is we get the students to record their spoken production. They prepare it and then they submit it to us. Yeah, right. They're recording it like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, but that's okay, because each time they're doing that, they're perfecting their own output. They are correcting their own errors, because it's like they're saying, okay, no, I didn't like that one, I'm going to do it again. And that's okay. And we're giving them a mark for that as well. I think being lenient is important, but at the same time, we have to be realistic too. I do think it's important that they are applying what we're teaching them in class. So that's for speaking, for example, and we're using Google Classroom. So for the reading, for the writing, we're just uploading that to Google Classroom. For the listening, we're doing the same as well. We're uploading listening tracks to Google Classroom as well. But the speaking has been the most challenging thing. That is one of the ways we found the way around it too. We thought of having teachers get into breakout rooms on Zoom in order to get them to do, you know, the collaborative task, part 3, for different speaking exams. Honestly, that's a practicality issue, because there's a lot of students and there's not that many teachers. So what we're doing is we're actually recording them doing that as well. There's lots of recording that goes on. Here's the thing. I'm just going to finish this one sec. The thing is, I'm really glad that Luciana asked that question, because there's just like Andy Baxter was telling us, and he didn't put it in these words, I'm going to badly paraphrase Andy Baxter, but there is no such thing as the perfect test. There's not. But right now, we just have to balance the validity and reliability with the practicality of still in many countries being under quarantine. And I think, especially on a day like Teachers' Day, we really need to congratulate ourselves for the incredible job that all of us are doing together. I think it's wonderful. 6 o'clock in the evening on a Friday, on a holiday, on Teachers' Day, that here we all are. Thank you very much, Macmillan Education, for getting us all here today, supporting each other. I think this is absolutely wonderful, working together like this. Okay, I've stopped, Maria.
It's okay. It's all right. Thank you, Alastair. It's been wonderful. Many, many comments. Yes, exactly. Yes, we need to adapt to a virtual round of applause for you. Yes, thanks, Alastair. Thanks. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
So thanks a lot, Alastair. I'm going to show you just another resources for you. Yes, because we know you've been working hard, so we have created all these resources to support you and your students in these challenging times and unusual times. So here is a series of video lessons for teens called Teacher to Teacher Across the World. And you will have video lesson conducted by an experienced English teacher working in a different part of the world. And the lessons are inspired by the Gateway 2nd edition life skills video, but you can use it whichever course you are using, and are devoted to important and useful topics for teenagers, such as relationships, public speaking, ways to manage stress and fear. And each lesson gives you, your students, an opportunity to learn something new and practice what they have learned. You can use the video lessons to complement your classes or set them as extra practice of homework or kind of a flipped classroom way. Simply ask your students to watch the lesson by sharing a link to a video and then letting them know what extra practice task is waiting for them. Just simply visit macmillanenglish.com/teacher-to-teacher. Then I'm going to put the direction in the chat box, and download the teacher resources and also teacher's guide with suggestions for extra practice, a presentation with tasks used in the lessons, and a worksheet with extra practice for your students. You will also find that. And the lessons have been prepared in 2 versions, with and without subtitles, so that you can recommend the version which is best for your students. And okay, I'm going to write here if you want the link. Yes, I'm going to put it in the chat box. And okay, all right, we are going to take a break. Yes, a toast to Alastair. Yes, indeed. And we are going to meet at 6:30 for our last session of today. Remember, this is a 2-day online conference. So we'll meet at 6:30 for the session of Lorena Painberg for young learners. Yes. All right. Thanks, Alastair, again, and let's have a break.
Thank you, Mariella. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
See you in some minutes.
Yes. Bye.
Remember your favourite teachers at school or lecturers at university who, by planting the seeds of curiosity and imagination and developing a real love of knowledge, inspired you to achieve more on your learning journey, helping you become the educator you are today. Now it's your turn to prepare students for successful lives in a more complex world. Imagine having the certainty that no matter how new discoveries transform our future, your students always have the right skills and knowledge to thrive in it, to appreciate different realities and viewpoints, to create a fairer and more inclusive vision of the world and pass it on to future generations. At Macmillan Education, we make this happen by working hand in hand with teachers and academics, building on our long-standing heritage of innovation in literature, science and education. We connect, we innovate, we inspire. Working in over 100 countries, we connect teachers in local communities to international experts and thought leaders, helping to bring the world into their classrooms and create a positive learning experience for millions of students around the globe. We embrace emerging educational needs, methods and trends like social emotional learning, life skills and global citizenship, creating innovative content, resources and technology that improve learning outcomes and make teaching rewarding. Always with teachers at the heart, we curate and share new ideas. We support and train, keeping thousands of educators inspired on the path of their professional development, helping them to stimulate the curiosity of their learners and to spread knowledge. We believe in a world where all teachers, wherever they are, have the right solutions to advance learning.